Hey, hi guys. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the LLD of the Stack Overflow. So let's go through the features which we are looking to design. Like user should be able to search and view the questions even if they are not signed in or they are not member. They are like that they are as a guest, and if they want to upload the question, they should become the member basically. So member should be able to answer a question which has been. They should be able to add the comment. They should be able to upload, as I've already mentioned. They should be able to flag the questions, answer the comment if they think that it's not good enough. They should be also getting some badges for being helpful, for being, if their answers are really getting higher approach, they should get some kind of badges for all those things. Members should be able to add the tags also to the question. They should be able to read some extreme off topics or very low quality questions, and these are the all the features which we are looking to design. Also, system should be able to identify the most used tags or most frequently used tags in the question. For example, let's say if the Java tags is heavily being used, so it should be specified by the system that hey, these are the tags, that hey, Java is one of the tags which have been heavily of most frequently used by the users whenever they are posting the questions or the answers. Now let's go through the code and the design pattern which we are using. If we think about the basic entity which we are looking here, the one is the definitely there. We have two kind of members here. One is the guest, another, or two kind of users here. One is the guest, other one is the logged in user. And another entity which we can say is we are having the question and the answer. Badges is also one of the okay. Comment is also one of the entity which can be created. Post is again one of the entity which can be created, or the Pujo class which can be created. Okay, badge again, as I'm already mentioned. Moderator, by the way, can be also one other kind of a user class which we based on the we extending the abstract classes. These are the basic entities which can currently look here. Let's go through the pattern and the things which we have used. So this is the diagram which is completely created dynamically based on the code only. So let's see what we have done here. So we are using the uh, factory pattern here just for initializing the classes for admin, um, for moderator, for question factories. Now we are using here abstract factory pattern. Actually, we are having a family of factories here. One is the admin factory, the other one is a moderator factory. Admin factory, there can be also multiple type of admin, the specific permission. Same goes for the moderators with differences. That's how we are using the factory pattern here. Observer pattern again, notifying the users whenever the new post comes up, new voting comes up on their post, and where anyone answers the questions posted by them, all those things. Now command pattern is getting used whenever you are adding a comment, whenever you are incrementing, upvoting any question or downvoting any question, it can be added there. Also closing the question, maybe adding a question, making up new post, adding a tag. I mean, adding a tag is like more minor. These are the major commands which we are looking at. And the next one is, these are the poach entities which you have already, as I've already mentioned in the before this, that question, the comment. Member is again, the member class is the base class, and which is extended by account, admin, moderator. Search strategy, since user can be, one of the feature was user should be able to search, so we have used the strategy search pattern here. Sorry, we have used the strategy pattern here. Here we want to search by the title. It can be more complex, we do it normal. Then we have notification. These are some of the Pojo classes. Now let's go through the, if we see, we have this status for the question, whether the question is open, closed, hold, or delete. We have created a enum class for that. This is another enum which we have created. um if the question is getting closed, what is the, like, why the question was marked what was the remark for that we have created these enums, like was it a duplicate, broad, or whatever. On status is another enum which we have created, basic one. Same goes for the payments. I think payment status not be required here. That I think that was not feature. So observer. We will come to the observer later. So we have used the observer pattern. Make sure whenever we want about any update, we are implementing the member class with the observer. Member is registered as a one of the type of the observer. So if we want to notify the member later on, we can really just call the function dot update to notify the user that hey, notify the member that hey, this change has been done. Now take the action according to the way you want. Next is again, as we already seen in that figure, that diagram. Admin is same goes for the model. This is the member factory pattern which created the admin factory. If you see, member factory is the base class which we are having. Then we have the admin factory, which is extending the member factory, and the moderator factory, which is an extend the member factory. This is not by the family of the factories which we are having. Factory. Question factory is another one which we are having. What kind of questions you are creating? For that we are having the same question factory. Command pattern. This is one of the most more useful, more kind of central thing which we'll be discussing here. We have three kind of command. Those question comment example. It's so whenever we are using the we are using the command pattern, it's more about having a. I mean, basically, it's about a command which is holding some kind of a data, like just a single operation. You are adding a command, it can be series of chain which may require. So using the command abstract the entire operation from the main business logic. Hey, I want to add the command. These are then do whatever you want. Works as so here. How we are working here is whenever this add command function is called and it says dot execute, we call we call this class. Say hey add. Now let's question we have created, which is actually implementing the votable class. We are using a template here. Here we have created an abstract class which can be which is a base class which we are using. Same this class is used to create the class called question and the answer also. Here we are using template method pattern. If you want to understand it more, make sure you go through my rate limiter video. It really have a deep and more deep understanding why and when template method. But I won't avoid repeating that stuff here. So you can just go through that video to understand. So here we have this something called question. If you see this add group, we were saying question dot add comment. This command calls this question class. This question class goes to the add comment. Now this add comment goes to the comments class. Definitely we have a comment class also. Okay, we can have the comment class also in this one. Now if we go to the comment class, I think check it out. This is the one. This is holding the data related to the comment, asking member, creating time text. You can add more. So that is how what I'm trying to tell you. This is how the code is integrated. It's not more. It's not just about using the pattern somehow forcing it. If you're trying to force the pattern, it may not work out. Make sure the relationship which your classes are having to each other are really structured and they are really better and it's really easy to scale. Otherwise, even though you are able to specify or mention the patterns, you will find it super hard to write the entire code showing the how the classes are going to be interacted. Seen it multiple times. What people normally do, they are able to come up with the patterns, but they are not able to write the code because they don't know how one class will be interacting with the other design. Make sure you are practicing each question. Then you will really see hey how why how the relationships are, how the entire chain is called add command sorry add comment command. The next one is increment vote. Same goes for again here. Now it can be, the vote can be done for the question also and answer also. So that's why we have not specified what is it, a question or answer. That's why question and answer is both based on the votable. So we can use it here. This gives us the less coupling, less dependency, more flexibility this way. This command can be used for both, for the question also and answer. You can just go to item, let's say is a, let's say question. You say increase the vote. So let's say there's a function called this one, and answer. See again what was the function. It says increment vote count. If we say increment vote count, okay, we have not implement, okay, we have implemented in votable. So if we see, see this one, so we have already mentioned it for both, and it will work for both question and answer. So we don't close on question again. Now we need to deal with the uh, moderator. We need to ask the moderator to close the question. Whenever you are calling close question command, the request needs to go to the moderator to close the question. So that's why we are going to the moderator and asking. Yeah, definitely there are multiple checks which, but they should be happening way before than this, whether the that command can be executed by the user. But I think we have gone through all question class answer strategy. Basic one, we have used the strategy panel. Comment one, we have already gone. Count, basic count class. Notification, just the basic notification. Page, badge. So these, all these classes are not very important. Always focus on the major class which is really required. If it really requires, you can add it always at the end, but don't waste too much time there on this basic class, which is not actually the main purpose of the entire design. Main class is just to show you how the code is going to, how you can write the, in the interview you will have to actually show the running code classes. We are showing that class this way and integrate classes. Or maybe you can create a facet class deal. Now let's go through the so definitely the designer is good, but definitely what are there any issues in, will this design work in a, is it a good enough for the concurrent environment? What are the drawbacks and the issues? So we'll be going through that. One of the drawbacks is the RBAC, basically role based access control. If you remember when I said close question, I told you that hey, we need to have a check, we need to have some kind of validation whether that command can be accessed or not. So that is what is mentioned here. The drawbacks is currently roles admin, moderator, members are treated as separate class inheriting from the member. This leads to tight coupling. Adding new roles would require significant specific changes. So currently what is happening is, there is a, currently the whatever roles, whatever control we are having currently, it's based on the user instead of based on the role. Okay, you currently you admin, moderator, member, these are considered as a user entity type instead of role entity type. What the drawback here, what we are trying to discuss here is, one drawback is definitely we are not checking enough whether the user have the enough access to execute those commands. That is one thing, but that is not the major part of this. But here we are specifically trying to discuss the way we have designed the class. It is more actually tied up to the user entity instead of role one. Instead of saying that hey, this user can have these roles, what we are saying, user is of either admin type, either moderator type, either member type. So that means what we are trying to say is hey, a user cannot be a admin plus moderator. That is the issue. That is what this drawback is mentioning, that is a lack of role based access control. So definitely this needs to be fixed, that we are already covering in our course. So if you will go to our course, you will see the answers to this question. Now let's go to the next one, which is no data consistency and concurrency handling. Definitely we have not discussed about the concurrency. bad design. So definitely there will be some issues, multiple issues related to the concurrency. As it says, multiple operations like voting, commenting. Whenever there is any data which is shared among multiple users, something central like let's say voting count, let's say comments, and if multiple threads are trying to access those data and kind of they are trying to change it, then definitely it will lead to the inconsistent base condition, deadlocks if the locks are not used properly. And so these are the issues which we are having currently to our code. Again, we are covering this in our course already. Poor extensibility for adding the new features. Now, adding the new features like bounty or badges would require modifying multiple classes, tightly coupled logic. So this is a little bit of vague here written, but uh, in the course we have discussed this, like how, like what is that which we are trying to discuss here? What is those features which cannot be added? What, how the code is tightly coupled? What pieces are that? What are those pieces which are tightly coupled are covered there? Inefficient. This is more related to the actually the algorithms or somewhere less related to the code designing. If you even want, you can even skip this question in terms of LLD and concurrence. Educate notification system observer pattern issue. But what we are trying to say here is observer pattern is not used efficiently. Notifications are hard coded. Again, this is more of a based on whether we are really focusing on the notification section of the code. But the point is valid if you see there the notifications were very hard coded instead of based on the type of the notifications. That is one of the other fix which can be done. But again, the focus of the entire design was not on this specifically. So if you, but the others are really important ways. Poor extensibility one, the data inconsistency one, and definitely this RBAC though important one, because in the interviewer may ask that, hey, the way you have designed the code, it seems that the user cannot have all three roles, but it can really have it. For one of the questions, it can be admin. For other questions, it can be moderator, or even one of the questions, it can be both also. We are covering this in our course already. So if you go to our course, already bought it, you can go to the course. You can go to the dashboard. If you go to the dashboard, you'll see a section called LLD standard problems. There we have multiple questions. If you see here, and you will see the Stack Overflow here. This one here you here you will be able to see the answer to the questions which are mentioned. Please check out the answer of these drawbacks and